So let's talk about the pros and cons of coffee, right? There's a lot of information, some good, some bad, out there about coffee. Hey, what's up? I'm Nathan Crane.
And I'm Derek Crane.
And this is Nutrition Thursday! So let's talk about the pros and cons of coffee, right? There's a lot of information, some good, some bad, out there about coffee. We want to share with you our perspective, some of the insights from a lot of the research that we've done, and obviously encourage you to do what you feel is right for you. But I started drinking coffee when I was like 9 years old, and I drank it all the way until I was about 24, 25 maybe. Then I finally quit drinking coffee. What about you?
Yeah, I've drank coffee on and off for a number of years. I actually started drinking it probably right around when I was 18, and I used it primarily as a pre-workout before a workout. So I never really got into the phase of drinking it on a daily basis, waking up and drinking it. I used it primarily for that reason.
Cool. So let's talk about the pros of coffee first, right? Because there are some definite benefits from coffee. I mean, they have found that coffee is full of antioxidants. I'm sure you've heard that before. Antioxidants are obviously the opposite of free radicals. They come in and help to balance the free radicals and get rid of the free radicals in your body to help your immune system be boosted, to help you fight off disease, to do a lot of great things to help keep you healthy and alive, right? Another great benefit of coffee is that it's full of magnesium and potassium. Good for recovery, good for cellular function, also good for helping with weight loss. And one of the third main benefits we know about coffee is, the caffeine in it is a natural stimulant. It's something that can help improve clarity and focus. It is something that's found naturally in different types of plants, teas, things like that, in addition to coffee. And it is something that, has been known to potentially help prevent certain diseases, cancer, even diabetes, things like that. And on the other side of it, there are some serious cons and potential, consequences we need to be aware of, right?
So true. And the number one con there is the acidity of coffee. And we're talking about the effects of acidity within the body. A body that is more naturally pH balanced is going to be less prone to disease and illness. So that when you put something acidic into the body, it's going to have more of a difficult time going back into pH balance. Now with that, there is moderation.
Sure.
If you're consuming massive amounts of coffee, that's going to create an acidic imbalance. If you're having like 1 cup or even half a cup in the morning, it creates a whole entire different story. Moderation is key there.
Exactly. And one of the other negative consequences of coffee, which this is really directly related to caffeine and coffee being one of the highest sources of caffeine, is that caffeine is an A1 inhibitor or antagonist, meaning that it blocks adenosine. And adenosine you might know from ATP, adenosine triphosphate, right? Which ATP is one of the most important energy molecules of the cells, meaning that the molecule of ATP manages multiple functions within your cells, from delivering proteins and lipids to so many other things. So if your ATP is getting blocked from too much caffeine, it means that your cells are not performing at their optimum level, which opens the door for potential higher risk of disease, less performance if you're an athlete, or just less performance overall in your life. Less if your energy systems of your cells aren't working at top notch. How do you think your whole body's going to feel? How do you think you're going to feel throughout the day? So there's a give and take with caffeine. There is a level where it does stimulate focus and clarity, and you get the antioxidants from the beans and all that stuff, and then too much of it actually starts causing detriment and harm. As you said, everything in moderation, right? And that's absolutely true with coffee. The problem is, in our society right now, we tend to drink 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cups a day. And that is not moderation, that's excess. And when you enter excess or extreme in something like that, you create major potential side effects and harmful reactions. When you're talking long term, it's like cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
You can smoke a pack of cigarettes every day for 30 years and not notice anything, and then on year 31, all of a sudden, you have throat cancer and you have 6 months to live. I mean, that's the same thing with taking anything in excess, where all of a sudden it becomes a negative consequence. The caffeine actually can kill you if you have too much caffeine, and there is a certain amount that you hit, and it would be very hard to drink that much caffeine in a single setting, but you could do it, and if you did, it would kill you. So again, it's one of those things where, if you can do it in moderation, drinking coffee, have 1 cup, maybe 2 cups a day, you will get a lot of the benefits of it. As long as you're eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, you're going to mitigate the acidity, you can get the benefits of the antioxidants, and the caffeine does stimulate some good things in your body as long as you're not overdoing it.
So true. And the third and final con is that most coffee crops are grown with pesticides and herbicides
Right.
and a lot of heavy chemicals. So if we look at the chemicals, they're killing insects.
Right.
And then we as humans are consuming that. So logically, we have to believe that there is a role in that creating disease and illness and sickness within the body. So definitely switch over to organic. Moderation. One thing that I do with it, I mainly drink mate, and then once in a while I will have it as a pre-workout, because a lot of pre-workouts also are filled with chemicals, an immense amount of caffeine, a lot of artificial colors, preservatives, and so just switching over to even a cup of coffee as a pre-workout, that's something that I would definitely recommend too.
Yeah, and if you're like me and you started noticing negative side effects after long-term use in your body and you want to stop drinking coffee altogether, that's what I did, 5 or 6 years ago. I stopped drinking coffee because I was drinking 3 or 4 cups a day, and I started noticing this weird feeling in the back of my throat, and the roof of my mouth. I noticed that my adrenals were fatigued. I noticed that I'd go up and spike, and I just got tired of that, and I realized it was from the coffee. So I stopped drinking coffee. All those symptoms went away. I replaced it with things like green tea, with like mushroom powders, getting natural energy from plants, things like yerba mate, which has a good amount of caffeine, but it's a lesser amount, and it is a healthier source of vitamins, minerals, plus you get your caffeine. So there are other things you can do, like switch to green tea or switch to yerba mate. Check out our other video in our Nutrition Thursday playlist about yerba mate if you want to learn all about it. But I do recommend, if you have lethargy during the day, you have lack of energy, you're feeling like your body is just not up to par, cut down your coffee significantly or switch to a healthier source of caffeine, and I think you'll see great benefits from that. So we always love to hear your experience, love to hear your thoughts and questions. You can post them below. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next video.
Take care. Yeah, so I don't know where to take it from there. I was like, okay.
And you're like, yeah. So